Gentlemen, thanks for reconvening. I think this is ironically, because I would like to think I put more planning into these shows than I actually do, but apparently this group was together about, 16, 18 months ago.
Yeah.
In the old studio.
Yeah. We were. That's the last time we were together. That's right.
So we've reconvened for the second round.
Yes.
So we're going to go off the deep end a little bit tonight. I have just a crowd to do it. We are going to talk about, and try to do it with a straight face, at least coming out of the gate, having a happy life versus pursuing a meaningful life. And does that mean two different things for all of you, or do you kind of mesh those together? Because through my research of this subject, yes, I did some research, they are two entirely different things according to the experts from all kinds of, degrees and,
Interesting.
Yeah, they're two different things. And it's also funny because I was looking at graphs and it was just like, it was way, not above my pay grade, but beyond my boredom level to get that specific about it. But the general gist was that happiness was something that you pursued for yourself, and a meaningful life is you responding to what the world needs of you. On the face of it. The two polarizing positions.
Interesting.
Yeah. My question is, do you ever sit and think, there's no way I'm going to do this with a straight face, because I'm looking right at him.
You got it.
But do you do any pondering about, at any point in your life, are you happy? Like, I'm sure we all have happy moments, we recognize them, but would you ever sit and contemplate your level of happiness overall? And at any point in time, and I, especially coming with you, because the kind of work you do, especially you.
Yeah.
The relative amount of meaning that you find in your life. Do you ponder that? This is going to be good.
Yeah.
This is going to be good. I'm looking at you first.
I want to hear your answer.
I'm looking at Freddie first.
Oh, you don't want to do me first. Definitely.
Oh, we most definitely do.
Oh, my God. How long have you known me? 20-some years?
Long time.
A long time.
A lot of water under the bridge, Fred.
I'm miserable.
Lots of floods.
Miserable. Everybody's like, you should be so happy. You should be happy. No, I'm not. I'm not happy. And as for being meaningful, man, it's a rough one over here. You'd love to have a happy life and have a meaningful life, and if that means,
what's that mean to you? And if someone says meaningful life for Freddie, what's that mean?
Well, I mean, it's you have some kind of purpose, and you brought something to other people. If you ever noticed that, I actually do care about what other people.
Sometimes too much.
Yeah, sometimes way too much, and that breaks down my happiness. It's the truth, because and this is how I look at it. I'll go out of my way to make someone else happy, even if it's at my own, detriment or whatever. If it's detrimental to myself, but I will go out of my way just so somebody else can have a good experience with music or a band or whatever. To the point where I'm miserable about it. I mean, because not being a jerk, but you're getting hounded 1,000 times a day about tickets or passes or guitar picks, and that's that's common in my thing. So I try to give everybody the great experience. You have the great experience, but at a time, and that makes me happy, knowing that I made somebody else happy. That's what's good. But it wears on you when you hear it 1,000 times a day. So, and that's just it may sound silly just to use that as an analogy, but I go out of my way to make sure other people are happy before me. That's why I drink. What are you doing? You got a mouthful of water. I drink water, Eric. 2 bottles of water a day.
Let me swallow first. Of course you drink. But I didn't know that was the only reason you drank.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the only reason. Dead serious. That's the only reason I ever drink. Look, man. I'm generally a happy guy. I'm happy now.
You're one of the happiest, outwardly happiest people that I've ever known in my entire life.
Yeah. Shouldn't have went to me first, Eric. I'm going to bring the whole show down from the beginning.
We wanted to get deep.
It's a somber,
But it's
subject.
but that's exactly it. I try to make everybody that I meet happy, and it is two different things. To have a fulfilling life is good, and it should make you happy. And it would make me happy, but it always seems like you fall short, no matter what you do. You do everything you can, but somebody's not happy. Somebody's not fulfilled.
Someone's not happy with your actions with them when you're attempting to make them.
Oh yeah, and it's silly because you get somebody come over and ask you something. Hey, can I get a photo with you? And you do that for that person, but that person's mad. Because we're out at the water park and you're fucking off fucking signing autographs and fucking taking pictures. It's like, so the 2 seconds you make that guy happy, this is what I preach all the time. Be nice to everybody. Yeah. And it's not a thing. I'm just nice to everybody. But
agreed. Yeah. So why don't you find fulfillment in that?
I do find fulfillment, but I also know that other people aren't happy. Yeah. So I sit there and I question myself all the time, what am I going to pay for now? How am I going to hear about this or whatever? But, I strive to make everybody happy. And lately I have had a fulfilling life. I'm happy with my career, but, it affects, it's hand in hand. It goes with a career and then it affects your personal life, So what I did to make me happy and fulfilled, it's got to be a little bit of both. It takes away from a little bit of both, but it also, I guess it's an up and down kind of thing. One day you're on top, next day you're in the doghouse. One day you're on top, next day you're in the doghouse. And it just,
Okay. Dave? How you follow that?
Yeah, right? Tough one to follow.
Yeah, the inevitable position to be in following Fred Kowalo.
I know. Stuck me first.
It's tough to do. You know what? I think a lot of people try to find that balance between being happy and having that purpose driven or that fulfilling feeling, and I don't know. I feel like you almost have to sacrifice a little bit of happiness if you're going to feel like, hey, what I'm doing is meaningful. What I'm doing is this, because with my work, and I this is something I go back and forth with every day. I absolutely love hockey. I absolutely love it, and I have the opportunity to coach now. So, I've been doing it for years, but I also work as a nurse, and you're helping people who are, sick, stressed. You're dealing with families that are stressed over their situations, and it makes a huge difference. Hearing from families of patients that you helped. On the other side with coaching, you hear from kids who you had a positive impact on, that have moved on to another level, played somewhere else, and they're doing big things. Okay. And you can feel fulfilled there. But on the flip side, there's a lot of other stuff you're kind of dealing with where you're, as a coach, you're dealing with parents, you're dealing with attitudes, you're dealing with kids that are still growing up.
Minds,
kids are still growing up, and these kids aren't going on to play professionally anywhere. So you're trying to teach them life lessons, like things that they can apply in the real world, and they don't always like that. People don't always like to be told, "Hey, you're doing something wrong," or "Hey, your attitude sucks. You're being lazy. You're better than what you're showing right now." Like you see the potential in somebody, and you have to push them, and it sucks because you care for the kid, you like the kid, but at the same time you got to shake the shit out of them sometimes. Like, hey, you're acting like an asshole, or you're being lazy. You're better than what you are, and same goes in healthcare, man. As great as it is to help people, you get a lot of other people who aren't happy. Whether it be, I had to wait, an extra 15 minutes for this. And I get it. Everyone kind of lives in their own world. Everyone's in their own bubble, their own space when they're coming in. And, when they're in the hospital, they're sick. And I'm, how come it took you 15 minutes to do this for me. I'm like, well, the guy in the next room was dying. So we were over there trying to fix this, and they don't want to hear any of that. They don't care about this.
Wow.
It's, well, it took you 15 minutes to come here and do that. I'm limited on what I can do. I'm one person. I get it. It's been, this is a long day for me. I have a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to do everything I can, but you can't please anybody. And I think that goes with, I feel like that's part of the meaningful life. Like if you're going to do something meaningful, if you're going to, have that impact, I mean, you're never going to make everybody happy. People are going to be, there's always going to be someone that's pissed because they had to wait, or pissed because this didn't go their way, or they didn't get whatever they wanted. And it's a struggle because by nature, like Brett, I like making people happy. I get a lot of pleasure out of that, but man, it can take a lot out of you, and it can be taxing. And then there's days where I worked in a cath lab for a long time. So there's times you go on call, people are having a heart attack, you're doing this. And I like that kind of work. Love that kind of work, actually. Because everything has to be done in a hurry. Everything has to be done fast. It's stressful, but I thrive in those kind of environments. But at the same time, if I have a pager for a weekend and my kids want to go to the zoo or want to go to Kennywood or want to do this, and nothing makes me happier than my kids. Nothing makes me happier than my kids and seeing them have fun and enjoy these things. But I'm like, I can't go to the zoo today, but I have to be close to work in case I have to go and do this. Why do I have to do that? Because I have this skill set that, not everybody has, and I'm able to do this. So, there's sick people that need me. They're like, why can't you be at the zoo? I want you to be here. I want you to be there. And it's horrible to be like, oh, I'd love to be at the zoo with you. I'd love to do this with you. I don't want to miss your practice. I don't want to miss your games. I don't want to miss this. But, what I'm doing is making a difference for someone else. And you're not always happy, but you're, at the end of the day, you're like, well, yeah, I had a shitty day for 3-4 hours, but there's someone that's alive because of this. Yeah. And they're able to go home with their family later on, and maybe they didn't have that opportunity, and you take a little bit from there, but it's hard. I think it's I think it's tough to find that balance where you're happy and you're doing something meaningful. I mean, you have happy moments at work all the time, but other times it's fucking stressful.
Yeah, man.
Coming to you, big boy.
Yeah, I have a little bit different perspective.
I'm surprised.
Because to me, happiness is perspective, right? I mean, it's your perspective on life. It's how you look at things. So yeah, I absolutely love what I do. You have moments of ups and downs and stresses, but I feel very fortunate that I'm able to do what I do and have the clients I have. So that makes me happy. Even the ups and downs, I've just gotten to that point in my life where it's like, I appreciate it. I've appreciated where I've gotten, the people I've surrounded myself with. So that makes me happy. So happy is an internal thing to me, right? It's how I view the world. Do I have bad days? Of course, everybody does, right? Nothing in life is perfect. I'm the most flawed person there is, but I truly feel that I am happy because I've done certain things in my life that I wanted to do. I've helped other people do certain things. So happiness to me is my internal perspective. Meaningfulness to me, I think they're different, but they're related. So I look at meaningfulness as different for everybody. It's how you have to define what a meaningful life is to you. Like to me, I know what that is. Like I want to leave a legacy. I want to inspire others to do what I've done, so I'm doing that. Like I believe, that I'm inspiring my kids and showing them that you can build something from nothing. Right. You can take a chance. You can take risks in life. And when the world is telling you can't, and everybody else is saying there's no fucking way you're going to do it, I did it. Like that's how I look, and that's the meaning that I get from what I'm doing. So I look at having that meaningful life actually makes me happy. So finding meaning. Yeah, finding meaning makes me happy because I love what I do. I love what we're building. I love the life I have. I mean, there are good and bad days, right? And there are ups and downs with life, but I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. Like I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. Like the fact that I get to sit here on a Monday night and just do this, I mean, it makes me happy. It's the freedom that I've built in life.
How could you not be happy here?
But right, but that's what I'm saying. But I think people get too caught up in finding happiness. To me, happiness is the journey.
As a goal, right? Finding happiness is a goal.
Yeah, and it's just, you should just be happy. Like it's all on how you look at the world. To me, happiness is your perspective. Mm-hmm. You know, I could like the E plus R equals O formula. It's how you react to an event determines the outcome. So I can take any event in my life. I can say, this is going to fucking piss me off, or I can learn from it.
Yeah.
And that's how I determine my own happiness. I just think happiness is a perspective. And it's how we choose to view the world.
On a simpler breakdown, the continual theme, the more I dug in, was that in the papers I read, was that happy seemed to be a description of a moment, and meaning came from choices you made for things beyond yourself. I don't know about that.
Brothers.
Is that about right?
Yeah.
I don't think happiness is a moment.
Yeah,
I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think you can have happy moments, but you can also just be happy.
As a state.
As a state, yeah. Like most days, I'm pretty happy. I have moments where I'm not happy, but my natural state is happiness.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's how, so yeah, I'll have those moments where I'm just like, oh, this is fucking pissing me off, or something. So that takes me out of but I normally wake up in a good mood. I'm like, I get to do cool shit. I'm surrounded by cool people. I have healthy kids. I have a good life. I'm able to provide for the people I need to provide for. I'm happy.
Yeah.
But I had those moments where, someone might piss me off, and that takes me out. So the moments of unhappiness are there, but I think my natural default is happy.
Yeah.
So I disagree with saying happiness is a state or is a single moment.
Yeah, I can see that. Like for me, I never gave much thought about whether I was happy or not, or whether I had meaning. I assumed for a good part of the 2000s that I didn't have much meaning in my life because I wasn't able to do a lot that was visible to me. Entrepreneurship put me in a position, it was internet based, and we were sending guitars to clients. We never saw them face to face. I wasn't getting that visceral thing. We knew they were happy, but unlike Fred, who was traveling out and meeting human beings and seeing reactions, I didn't get any of that. And in a prior life, and out in sales and so forth, I had a little more of that. And at that time, we were involved with things that were charitable. We had charitable causes in the companies I worked for. I got something. But from 99 on to the end of Boogie Street, I can't really tell you I got a lot of meaning from what I did outside of supporting my family and growing a business and playing guitar and stuff. But in terms of like how I impacted other people, I knew customers were happy. They would tell us, but not having them in front of me, because we didn't do like in-person sales. I was missing something. And when I became a realtor, an added benefit to this career was I was now in front of people again, finding out where they wanted to go and then helping them get there the way they wanted to. That was like that was a meaning. That was giving me more meaning to my existence, because I was it wasn't like you're saving their life. I wasn't saving anybody's life, but they were viewing where they wanted to go, how they wanted to solve a financial problem, or they wanted to move out of state, or whatever the issue was. And my skill set helped them get there. So I had a closing table where everybody's happy. I had that moment, So that was the difference in my life of when I found it tough sometimes to find meaning outside of loving your kids and your family. I get all that. We should all be doing that. But finding that, like, what is my purpose? My purpose is just to make money, sell guitars and make money. That's kind of like for a long time. So I had to be honest. That's kind of what I was confronted with. But the realtor thing added a new dimension. And as I've gotten older, I ponder a lot. I ponder whether I'm happy. I also ponder, like, what have I done today that maybe has helped somebody else life be a little easier, a little better, and oftentimes the answer is nothing. Like last night I said, what did I do today to reach out and touch somebody that did something that was valuable to somebody else? And I think I need to have more of those moments in my life. Yeah, I do.
But I think I see how you're looking at it, but you're looking for the value. You may have impacted people's lives, and you don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think you have to take from a meaningful life. I think is different for everybody. But I think if you're looking for external validation to prove that you have a meaningful life, I think you'll never have enough of it.
Agreed.
So I think it's just knowing you're a decent human being and you do decent things and you do the right. Like, that's meaning, right? Like, I don't need someone to validate that I'm a kind human being. I just am. I don't need someone to validate that I'm doing something, different. I know I am. If I needed that external validation, I'd never have enough of it.
No, I guess I get it. I was just saying that it was, there's a joy that I get about being with other humans and being able to do something that puts a smile on their face. I understand why he gets off on giving those rock and roll fans a moment. They remember. I understand why that's powerful. And I used to, him and I talked about it many times over the years. I mean, I was not stuck, but my place was in an office shipping guitars out, and the emails were great. The photos they take with our product was great. I could see the happiness, I guess, but there's something visceral about being with a client or being with when I coached Little League after I became a realtor, and I saw that I saw happiness there. And contributing to that in some way, it gave me a level of appreciation that I didn't have in that prior time. That 15 years. It's different. It's definitely different. I'm not saying it's a life-changing thing, but I think I'm in a better position right now to maybe. It is an affirmation, Rocco. You're right. I get your point completely. Like, if I'm looking for someone else to give me my meaning of life, I'm never going to get it. I get that, but I think I can get joy out of being around people in a physical sense that are finding what I'm doing is valuable.
What do you think you're doing here? You've done 300 some episodes of this. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
That's meaningful in my mind. Like, that's extremely meaningful.
Yeah, I think in the big picture, yeah.
I mean, to me, this should give you meaning. I mean, you've shared conversations of people, stories of people over 300 times. And you put that's meaning. Like, that's very meaningful. You're letting people share. You're letting us come on here and share our thoughts to a large audience that we couldn't do otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, that's meaning. Like, that's a lot of meaning.
I know it's been meaningful.
It's
meaningful for me.
You wanted to get deep. It's meaningful for other people too, man. Yeah. I mean, it's meaningful for us. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't meaningful.
Yeah.
Point taken.
You got to look at it that way, man. Give yourself some credit.
Yeah, I guess maybe we just get so used to our own view of the world at times. It's hard to step out of that. Of course. And look, I don't know. I mean, when you think about the concept of being happy, like, would you agree that over the last, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, like the concept of that may have changed in society? Do you think, or maybe not?
Well, yeah. Values have changed over. We talked about values on the last thing, but values have changed over the past 20 years, and people's happiness and their perception of it is different. You got a whole different generation of things. When we grew up, if we got a Happy Meal, it was happy.
Right.
That's why they called it a Happy Meal.
Fuck yeah.
And that's exactly it.
Yes.
Now, if you don't get an iPhone 14 the day it comes out, you're an asshole, Dad.
Right.
And that's exactly what it is.
You're right.
But
the expectations are different.
And family made people happy. You don't have those images. And happiness probably goes, with. It's hard to say that the little things that made us happy then, because I'm one of these cats that always looks back and goes, well, remember, and I can be happy thinking about that, but it's not, what my other fun thing is people that just don't understand, it's like, we were talking the other day about like TV shows and stuff like that, how everybody on a TV show when we were young, they were happy. You didn't have, if you wanted drama, you had to go.
We just talked about this yesterday. We literally talked about this yesterday.
If you went to if you want a drama, you watched a soap opera or something like that. Now everything's.
It's exactly. We had this conversation yesterday. The exact same conversation.
Awesome.
It's true. It's like when we were growing up, like most TV sitcoms were funny, happy, good. Now it's like there's maybe a handful of sitcoms. Everything's about drama or crime.
And you think that's a reflection of society?
Fuck yeah, it is.
Exactly.
Absolutely, it is.
And it
100%
puts that influence on society. Now people aren't happy.
And I think one of the other things that has changed it over 15, 20 years, that idea of, hey, this is what makes me happy or whatever, like what's meaningful, what I should strive for. Social media. Mm-hmm. You got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, where people are logging on and they're like, oh, so-and-so's doing this or so-and-so's doing that. I'm not doing this. Well, how come I'm not, I don't have like the big house, or I'm not doing this or I'm not doing that. Like then people get that mindset like, fuck am I doing with my life if so-and-so's doing this? And you're constantly comparing yourself to everybody else out there. And I think that's one of the things that's been a big, because you're like, well, and I've got myself in that trap before where you're like, oh, well, this person, they're same age as me, but they're doing this or they're doing that. Are they happy doing that? No one knows. It's pictures they're posting up on their social media. So there's that picture of what it is. But if you actually go home with them that day, are they really happy? Like, are they really, do they feel fulfilled? Do they feel like their life has meaning? Like but it's that constant comparison now that as soon as you get up, what is the first thing people do in the morning? They reach for their phone, and you start scrolling through Facebook, Twitter, and maybe it's an unconscious thing. Maybe you don't realize you're doing it, but you're looking through and you're like, oh, well, this person's doing this. Why am I not? Yeah. They're ahead of me in life. Really? Are they ahead of you in life? Like, what did you want to do? Like, what are your, maybe their idea of happiness, and it's different for everybody. They're not ahead of you. They just had a different idea of what made them happy, or maybe they're not happy.
Maybe they're not.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they're not happy. Maybe there's a lot going into that, but they're putting that front on, and you'll never know, because how often do you see everybody that's on that? Yeah. How often do you see everyone that's flipping through there?
It's always like when you see these people getting busted, they call them out, like somebody on a plane. I'm sitting in first class flying to Dubai, and it's like, no, now you're back there. You're waiting to take a piss. This guy, you hopped in his seat there. Or the girl that was like doing all these exotic locations, and she's really at IKEA. She was like taking herself to the IKEA backdrops. Like, loving it here.
Yeah, I think nowadays people define happiness as things or goals or achievements. When I think when we were younger growing up, like happiness was a state, was a feeling, perspective. And I think that's how I still look at the world, right? I could be happy having nothing, I could be happy having everything. It's my perspective. And I think if people took the time to assess themselves and what they're looking at and their perspective on life, you can find happiness anywhere. You really can. If you wake up and you're healthy, if you wake up and live in America, I mean, you should be happy. Like you're ahead of most of the world. It's just about perspective. But people, when you start comparing yourself to others or what other people have and you don't, like you don't know the journey they went on. Yeah. Like you have no idea what, like I hate when people like will bust my balls like, oh, you got lucky. I'm like, no, I didn't get lucky. Like I busted my balls for 20 years. It's
an insulting thing to say.
Yeah, it's like no, I've busted my ass for 20 years, sleepless nights, long, 7 days a week to get where I am, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Yeah, and it's just people won't give others the respect for what they've done, especially if they don't have it. They just think you got lucky, or it's just this whole world weird perception that people have, and it's like, just be happy with where you are. Like everybody should just look at their own life and just find happiness there. Because once you do that, it's very easy to achieve more and to do more in life. But if you can't find happiness with where you are, you're never going to be happy somewhere else. That's the way I look at it.
People are always looking at what I don't have.
Yeah,
what they have and what I don't have. Yes. But that's not necessarily...
Yeah, look at what you do have.
It's the thing. And you talk about it like things. Everybody's like, oh,
Yeah, it's always material stuff.
The new like iPhone 14 or whatever. Yeah. And I remember... and thinking back on it now, like looking back when I was a kid, and things were, a whole lot different then. But like the happiest things I had, my dad's he still does it. He's a pilot on the riverboats, like the barges up and down the river. Mm-hmm. So growing up, my parents were divorced. I spent a lot of time with my dad. My dad spent a lot of time away at work. That's what he had to do. And the happiest moments I had didn't matter where we lived, what we had, or anything like that. It didn't matter what was in the house. You know, the happiest things for me were when my dad came home. I was just excited to see him because I knew we were gonna, you know, that the time you can spend with them and things like that. Like I looking back on it now, maybe we didn't have a lot, but I was extremely fortunate, and I had a very happy upbringing. And it's just because, you know, my dad did everything he could to make sure that we were, you know, that we had the opportunities, that we had these, you know, and it was never material things. Like it was never like, oh, I don't have this, but so-and-so has that. It was just, you know, it was happy, like, oh, my dad's home. Sweet. Like my dad's home from work. And those were the happiest times. It wasn't what we had or what we bought or anything like that. It was like, you know, the things that I remember are going to the beach or like things like that. Like I remembered those things. I don't remember, you know, what we got at Christmas this year, but I remember going out after
the memories,
Christmas, and playing those memories. That, like, that's the stuff that means a lot to me. And, you know, those were times you're truly happy. Yeah. And now, like for me now, I mean, I think about that times too, where I come home and the kids are happy to see me, or they just enjoy, like they just enjoy me. So a few years ago, as a nurse, I in the summers when I was coaching in college, so what I would do in the summers was I would take contract jobs, and I would work, you know, away from home 3 or 4 months. Money was fantastic. I mean, they pay a ton, but I wasn't home all the time. And my second son was just born. My first one was 3. And I remember I was out east, the middle of nowhere out east in Pennsylvania. I was like an hour from Scranton, an hour and a half from Hershey. There was like nothing in this place. And they came out for a weekend and they were getting ready to leave. And my son was 3 at the time, my oldest. He's, you know, crying. He doesn't want to go. And he's like, how come dad can't come too? How come dad can't come too? I was like, buddy, I got to work. You know, you play hockey. You got to do this. You got to do that. I got to pay for all this stuff. He's like, I have enough toys. I have enough hockey. Why can't you just come home? Why just can't you come home? And it was like, crushed me. And I was like, this is the last contract I ever take and do this, because I don't want, I'm not happy here. Maybe what I'm doing is like meaningful to others, but to me, I was always happiest when my dad was home. And my kids are like that.
Yeah, and that's a balance that I know Rock and I have talked about it multiple times. It's a tough balance because, especially when you're an entrepreneur, because you have demands on you, which in some circles, when they look in on an entrepreneur, well, you have the flexibility because you make your own schedule. You can spend as much time. You can spend more time with your children. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you cannot. Yeah, it's always a balance. Like, there's arguments. Well, you spend more all the time at work as opposed to your kids. You're not doing the right thing. The counter thing is you've got to spend enough time at work to ensure that your family's taken care of and your goals are met for your family. So how do you balance that? It's a tough balance.
I've learned that, I used to have guilt for not being around, but then I can't remember who I listened to. I might have talked about this before, but someone was talking. It might have been Gary Vee or someone of the big entrepreneurs.
It was
Ed Milet.
Ed Milet.
But they were talking about you as a parent should, if you're not fulfilling your full potential, you're doing your children a disservice.
Yeah.
By not becoming everything you can be, you're doing your kids a disservice because you're showing them that you're okay with being average, that you're okay with being mediocre or just enough. That hit me for some reason. That just hit me because it's like I want my kids to grow up and know they can do anything they want in this world. They can be whatever they want to be. So it's like if I'm not doing that myself, how can I expect them to do it?
Right.
So that kind of helped me remove that guilt because and they understand like I'm building something different. I spend time with them, but I work a lot, and it really helped me conceptualize what I'm doing.
Well, it's a bigger picture view.
It is, and it was like okay, like I want my kids to know that they can have or be whatever they want to be in this life. It's yours for the taking if you put in the effort. Like I wasn't special. I wasn't given any special, advantage in life. I just worked hard, harder than most people. And so I look at it from that perspective as if I wasn't fulfilling my own potential, how can I expect my kids to do that? Because they follow our example. Like that's how I look at it. So I want to be there for everything, but I physically can't. And that's hard sometimes, but I've had to come to terms with, if I want to create what I'm creating and be the example and inspire them the way I want to do, then I'm going to have to give a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of the discussion I've had with myself. I had to come, and it's not for everybody. It's just something I had to come to terms with.
So on our radio show this past Saturday, Rocco and I we actually got into our first, I won't say disagreement, but we basically disagreed on a subject matter on air. It was very interesting how we maneuvered that. We did okay too.
Yeah.
But the point was about social media, with Facebook being at the premise of it. And I expressed my feelings that I have serious reservations about the impact on society in general that Facebook has right now, based upon manipulative tactics and the way it's just because they control a lot of communication. What I was articulating was not correct. I had somehow conflated the idea of money, the lust of capitalism within their goals, in terms of the harm they were doing to society. And the more after our conversation, the more I reflected on it, I really thought about it. And what I was really trying to express, maybe I can clarify it here, which it'll make more sense, but I think it's perfect for our conversation. The point is, the harm that I think social media, primarily Facebook, has done, and it's nothing to do with money. It's the way it has turned every human being that uses that in some capacity, some large, some small. It has put everybody in competition with everybody else. I'm not saying it was done intentionally, but because envy is such a fascinating human frailty, it has never been on display, our envy, as it is now, because of the immediacy of the comparison with not just groups, not just your competitors in a business, not your competitors on a sports field, not your competitors in business. It is a comparison of everybody. I grew up with the phrase, keeping up with the Joneses, or, we're doing this at our house because they're doing it next door. The only people we really were comparing ourselves might have been like our church group, our neighbors, but social media has created these reels that roll before us that is comparing everyone theoretically to everyone else. We can all sit and say, well, I'm not. Well, you know what? You kind of are, whether you want to admit it or not, because you're seeing reflections of everybody in your circle and then a ton more about what they are doing. And it's natural to have comparisons. Envy's not always attached to every comparison, but it puts the human condition in a position that wasn't around before social media. You just didn't get that many inputs from all these different sources. We're in a different, we can talk about free will all day. What I'm going to say to that is, while I agree with you that we don't have to use that, I'm going to also say that society as a whole is not sophisticated enough to pull themselves away or recognize the long-term harm if they give into the system. So that is just reality. I'm not saying it's not a reflection that you don't have the intestinal fortitude to pull yourself away from the system. Most aren't. And that leads me to believe that we may not be strong enough to pull ourselves away from the comparison. I think that ultimately is a hamper on us finding joy or happiness.
What people are finding in happiness is followers. They don't know.
What's a currency? It's a form of currency.
Exactly. It becomes a currency. And what it's doing right now.
You're ready to explode over there.
No, I'm just listening.
Well, what
I know that look.
What all these social media things are doing, they're bringing us down as a society. They're telling us that if we have X amount of followers, we're happy. So what are we going to give away? What piece of us are we going to give away to get X amount of followers?
But argument could be made. That's what you're saying is the society's being sold. The idea of that, right? It is. But I was sold on Calvin Klein jeans in 1979, and I looked at those jeans in a magazine. I saw it on the model. I wanted to go buy them.
But you weren't willing to fucking shake your ass on a fucking camera to get somebody
I'm
to
still
look
not
at
willing to do that.
Well, to get yourself.
Although it might be a nice exercise.
You weren't willing to give away your morals to have somebody follow you and say, "Oh, look, I followed that. I like that."
The extremes are higher now.
Well,
for
and
sure.
that's exactly it. And what it's doing is it's breaking down to make people happy. So these people have their happiness and they have their followers. And look at me, I'm an influencer and I'm this, that, and that. And all I got to do is shake my ass or act like a slut or act like an idiot or disrespect my parents on fucking thing. It's bringing down society as a whole, and it's making what we see as happiness, it's not real. We find in happiness in hurting somebody else or bullying somebody else. We're gonna film it. We're gonna show them we're this, we're that. Now look, I'm number one, so I'm happy because I showed myself fucking degrading somebody else, or I've got 1,000 followers for fucking showing my tits. I'm really.
Do you do that?
I do. But the thing is, the definition of again, what made us happy, going out and playing baseball, playing with our friends, is a lot different now, where we have people that we don't even know, but we want their acceptance. We wanted our friends' acceptance. If you had your Calvin Klein jeans, did you know that it was a Jordache model?
I'm aware, but I wouldn't wear Jordache.
But the thing is
they were.
It was amongst our baseball teams. It was amongst our church groups. It was the guys we went to CCD with.
Well, the pool was smaller, right?
Exactly.
You couldn't reach
Now
people
you've
in
got
mass quantity.
now you've got people that you don't even know, that you'll never meet in your life, and you want their approval. And that's going to make you happy. And unless you get 1,000 followers, or unless you get 1,000 likes for this post, or 10,000 likes, you're not happy. So you're going to have to be even more outrageous. What's at what cost are we giving up things?
I think it's been a heavy cost for many people.
We're giving it up for society.
Now we got society, but for many people,
we've got
it's been
kids
a heavy cost.
They go to school and can barely get through school. We've got teachers that don't want to teach anymore because you can't control the kids. And if you control the kid, you reprimand it, somebody's going to film you, and you're going to be unhappy because you're fucked because, you can't do that anymore. Or if you say something wrong. And, what's to say you call me a long-haired freak and I get upset, you know what, I'm going to cancel your show. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to go back and ruin your life just to make myself happy because you made me unhappy. And that's my long-term goal. That's my fulfillment, in life is look at all these frivolous lawsuits that we have.
Well, it gives that person it fucks with their self-esteem. That's their moment to gain some self-esteem, and they feel like they're doing something on a broader scale when they can reach out and hurt a stranger.
It makes them happy because look what they've done. The whole fucking idea of what makes us happy is again, like you said, we didn't have, it comes down to a currency of followers. It comes down to, it comes down to bullying. It comes down to, it's really weird where we'd go out and play baseball, and if we won a game, we were happy. Now it's, I got to take you down and destroy you. There's
an element of that.
You got a whole thing of people out there.
Do you see that in your coaching? Do you see a mentality? Let me ask you this question. Even at the 15, 16-year-old level, do you see a competitive intensity compared to a viciousness? Because competitive intensity, I think, is fantastic, but viciousness for the sake of pain is not, in my opinion.
We see it a ton. So the way that youth hockey works now, and I could go on for days what's wrong with youth sports now and how they do things, but with hockey, an example is this past weekend. So this past weekend we're away at a tournament, we're away to showcase. We managed to make the playoff round. A lot of teams there, so we managed to make the playoff round, and we ended up in the same bracket as another team from the area.
Okay,
so another team from this area. Now, the way the amateur teams work, these kids are from all over Pittsburgh, right? So they try out for different teams. They make different teams. They get cut from different teams. It is what it is. But a lot of them, everybody knows each other. It's a small world when you get into that. So everybody knows everybody. And a lot of times they're teammates on school teams or wherever else.
Right.
So we make this playoff round. And as soon as we figured that out, we knew, hey, we're playing this team. They're from the same area as we are. And we have kids that are playing for me showing up to the rink. And they're like, oh, so-and-so from that team already texted me, said we're dog shit. They're gonna walk all over us. We're this and this because we're here in the rankings. They're there in the rankings and this, and it was like they were essentially bullying kids that they're playing. It's like, oh, you're dog shit. That's why you're there and not here. That's why we're here and we're, you're there. But a lot of this too goes on to the social media stuff and like, hey, I'm just going to tear this kid down because I think my group's better than your group. And, but it was stuff like that. And it's, I mean, youth sports is terrible. I told all the kids that play for me when they're, when they come in for the year, because, it's a higher level. So a lot of these kids want to go on and play further. So I tell them all the time, I'm like, just get rid of your social media now. Get rid of it now, because what you're going to do is you're going to compare yourself to everybody else.
How many of them can pull themselves off of?
That's the thing system. Is now it's so hard to do,
or want to.
And at this age, if you're not on social media,
that's
somewhere,
a big ask.
Yeah,
as you and I found out from from you and I.
Well, and here's the thing. I see this completely different.
Yeah,
it's. Social media has just accentuated the human condition. This shit all existed when we were kids. There's a platform where you see it more. There were bullies. We talk shit on other teams. You bought Calvin Klein jeans to fit in, to get followers. It's just on a grander scale now. And we can't get rid of social media. So we have to learn how to adapt to it and navigate the world. It's not going anywhere. It is the world 2.0. And that's what we have to understand. As adults now and raising kids, in this world, like, we have to understand it's not going anywhere. This is part of the fabric 100%. Of the condition. And what it's done is it's just giving a bigger platform to the human condition. The shit that happens on social media is the same shit that happened when I was growing up. It's just there were girls that wore certain things because they wanted people to like them. There were guys that did certain things that was funny because they wanted people to like them. It's the same thing. It's just a bigger platform for it now.
Nobody had camera phones then.
Exactly.
Nobody was putting it literally you could do something. You could.
I wish I had a camera phone from the shit we used to do, because we did funny shit when we were growing up. Like, I wish I had those memories. Yeah. Like, that's the one thing. That's the one positive. Like, these kids are going to have memories that they're going to be able to. They've documented. That's the one good thing about social media. You're able to document your life now. So when you're 80 years old, or I'm 80, I can look back on my life from the time I was 20 to now and see it through pictures and video.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest things. Social media.
To sports things too. Like, kids have to learn to use social media because of the NIL rules now. They can monetize it. If they use social media the right way, they can make a lot of money as an athlete if they know how to use it right. So we have to learn how to instruct kids and educate kids on the proper way to utilize the platforms we have today.
And how is that going to happen? Like, what do you?
Education, good coaching, good organizations. There's people out there doing NIL training.
It's just that. Let's just talk about, because what I'm hearing you say is that it's not going away. I think we can all agree on that.
Yep.
It encompasses so much of society. It controls so much communication through messaging and interaction. It's a choice, but it's a compelling. It's such a you're almost compelled to do it because the bulk of society is on there.
Okay,
doing it.
Sure.
So it's a tough pull away, especially for young people.
But I look at it, if you're an asshole in real life, you're gonna be an asshole on social media. It's just we have to teach people.
It's amplified.
I understand,
but more damage.
But what I'm saying is we have to teach our kids to be decent human beings. Like, it starts with that, because again, you're an asshole here, you're going to be an asshole on social media. You're a good person here, you're going to be a good person on social media. Yep. It's the human condition. It's our job as parents and to teach these kids coming up how to be good fucking human beings. Then the problem starts to dissipate. I believe there's always going to be assholes. There's always going to be people that are bullies. It's never going to go away. It's never going to go away. There are always going to be people that seek attention on social media because now they can't. It doesn't go away. All we can do is control what we can control. And teach the people that we have around us, our kids, the people we work with, that we have relationships with, motivate them and inspire them to be better. That's it. That's all we can do.
Should there be social media classes in schools?
No. I don't think so. That's the parents' job. The education system should not be put in charge of teaching my kids how to use social media. Just like the education system shouldn't be teaching my kids their political philosophies, but they are.
Okay, so no. Completely agree with you, and I've always believed in political philosophy and that how it bled into general philosophy was always a consternation between parents because there's usually the left and the right disagreeing on things. Got it. I'll make the argument that there should be remedial classes on the functionality of social media and potential impact. And again, it's a very tough line to draw. I get it, and I don't have the answers. But we, at some point in time, correct me if I'm wrong, when Microsoft became so strong in business, in the world in general, before, let's say in the late 90s, there started to be Windows classes. It was almost, if you didn't know how to maneuver through Windows, you're probably going to have a hard time getting around in life. The argument can now be made that if you don't understand the mechanics of social media, especially integrating with business class and so forth, how can we not include social media maneuvering as in a formal education standpoint for youth? I mean, how can we not?
It's kind of like I mean, if you look at it now and the way that it's evolved from where like say MySpace and Facebook started to where it's at now, like being able to monetize things and whatnot. Great. So essentially social media is like it could be a tool, right?
Yeah.
Like
that's your
anything
whole
else.
point, right?
So so it could be a tool, right?
Yep.
And you think about any tool. I'll take my oldest son. We go up to the cabin all the time, and we heat the place with a wood stove. It's an old house built in the 1880s, so we heat it with a wood stove, right? So he has a he loves to split wood. So he has his own little axe, and he has his own little sledgehammer that he can use to split wood. Great. It's a tool we're using to split wood. We're heating the house, right? But you can fuck yourself up with an axe. You can fuck yourself up with a hammer. Same with social media.
Yeah, exactly.
You can use it for good, and you can use it, and it's a great tool. For athletes, right? You can promote yourself on social media like Twitter. You could put clips of yourself doing this. You can put clips of yourself doing that. You could also go the other direction, and like with the axe, instead of splitting the wood, you're cutting off a toe, or something like that. Like you're essentially fucking yourself over with it. But it's a tool. So like anything else,
so youth isn't getting any training on this.
But here's the thing.
That's the thing. Is like you got it. Like with the tool, you got to teach them how to use it. You have to teach them how to use it properly.
The parents' job.
No, but are you talking about the technical aspects of social media? Like, how do I create an account? What do I put on Facebook? What do I do?
Yeah, but I also think you cannot ignore the dangers of social media as well too, and how it bleeds in. And not from philosophy, but like just being careful you don't put. You talk to kids about not putting nude pictures up there. It never goes away because if the parents aren't telling them. I mean,
it's the parents' job to tell them. That's what I believe. Like that is my job as a parent to tell my kids.
Parents shouldn't tell kids out to smoke crack and all kinds of shit, and they're out there doing it.
But you want to rely on the education system to teach your kids that? Our education system in this country is broken as fuck.
I agree, 100%.
I certainly would not rely on the education system.
Kids can't even read.
I don't rely on social media. I don't want to rely on that, but it seems to me that the power. Maybe that's the discussion we should have: is the power, because Facebook is a powerful behemoth.
Yeah, with power comes responsibility. I mean, that's plain and simple. It's a platform we have now, and you have to understand what it's good for and what you shouldn't use it for. And that's really what it boils down to.
Do you think society has? This is an interesting question. Do all of you think society has an obligation? No, let me scratch that. Do you believe that firms, corporations, have an obligation to not manipulate the public? It can put out products that manipulate the public. Now, case in point, cigarettes. As we learn more about cigarettes, you can throw alcohol in there, I guess. Where I'm going with this is there is data that there is a addictive quality with the way the algorithms and the way the interaction with these devices is created that is keeping people addicted to screens and that system and that input. If these firms know that and the studies come back that it is causing harm for people, do they have an ethical obligation to figure that out or curb it? Or is it all about putting it on the actual user and saying the user's responsible to use it or not?
It's probably in the user agreement.
Well, that's what, yeah, I mean, well, but I don't think the addictive nature of the product is going to be spelled out in the user agreement.
Well, no, because if people aren't using it, they're not making money. And I think that's
and I don't have an answer. I don't want that. I'm not saying Facebook should go away. Yeah. I'm just saying what unhinged me is what I told you prior, that the software companies that create slot machines were hired by Facebook
to addict you,
to basically recreate the interface about 7 years ago, and that has caused that's where Instagram actually was derived from, and that has been integrated full throttle now, and the user numbers across the world spiked incredibly, like frightening. Something is wrong there.
Do we get rid of casinos? Casinos are the exact same thing. They manipulate you,
and a lot of humans will think that that's probably a bad thing. That
but they're still there.
Oh no, and absolutely. But think about the scope of it, though. Gambling, a portion of society gambles, especially during football season. But that's a portion of society. Social media, again, talking to the power of it, the power of comparison it's a behemoth. It affects so much of society, from the 90-year-old grandmother to the fucking 5-year-old that the parent gave a cell phone to.
Look how many people have lost their life savings in a casino.
Yep.
How many people have lost their life savings on social media? Like, casinos do way more damage than social media does. Like, people go into debt. They marriages end. They lose their life savings. I mean,
I guess we have to qualify financial damage versus social damage.
Yeah,
but
how are you defining?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Both affect people mentally.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely,
and both will affect people socially. You know, I could lose $1,000 or $1,000. I could lose a lot of money and go out and kill somebody because I'm mad. Come back with a gun and kill everybody. Or,
100%.
Or I could have 0 followers on Facebook and come back with a gun and then my work and shoot somebody.
And again, I know we can't legislate morality, and I don't want regulation. I guess I'm talking about ethics. I'm talking about,
and
that goes back to that conversation. Is it a corporation's responsibility to have an ethical soul? You know what I mean? Like, the argument can be made that really they shouldn't have it.
Sketchy line.
It is 100%,
because now you're talking about, okay, well then cigarettes shouldn't exist, alcohol shouldn't exist. There's a lot of things that just shouldn't fucking exist. Sugary cereals shouldn't exist.
100%.
Snack food shouldn't exist. Like, this shouldn't exist. If we're gonna put social responsibility on corporations to that extent, the 99% of the shit we have in this country should not exist.
Yes, you're right. And what I'm wondering is, because
it's capitalism.
As long as money's tied to it, it's going to be there. If you're going to make money from it, it's going to be there.
But because of the size of this entity, the tentacles, and how it's ingrained in, day out life, with the communications, the utility, in terms of traditional utilities, how that's a component of it now. You know, I mean, that doesn't matter to me, but it does in terms of how a lot of people look at what they are now. Because a lot of people look at, hey, maybe we should regulate that. That's a utility. But it doesn't. I'm saying from a size standpoint, it encompasses so much of this society. They may need their own set of rules.
I think that's a dangerous.
It might be, but look at the danger of just letting them do whatever the fuck they want.
What danger do you? I mean, so I understand what you're saying, but again, I think you're now regulating free speech.
They're already doing that, right? Or they did for a little while.
There's all kinds of arguments. There's all kinds of data out there, but I think to start creating regulation on stuff like that, it's a slippery slope. It's a very slippery slope.
They should put a rating system like the movies.
On what?
On different things. You could get different levels of your social media to access different things. Do you think a 6-year-old wants to see some chick fucking showing her camel toe, fucking shaking her fucking tits? Yeah, fucking a 6-year-old boy does. But it's morally bringing. And this is me fucking talking about this shit. Here's what I noticed. You know that I'm not a fan of social media.
I'm well aware.
And I had to do. I was asked to do Instagram and open an account.
Wait, do you know the story of why he's not on Facebook?
No, I don't know the story.
Oh, come on, Fred.
So I'm on Facebook.
He had one fan.
I have one fan, my mom.
Okay.
Because on TSO, we all played this golf game.
Okay.
And if you had Facebook, you got free coins, free ball, whatever. So I did it.
Makes sense. I get it.
But I have thousands upon thousands of people. Hey, we want to be your friend. I'm like,
Nope.
no. Not going to do. One friend, my mom. And I still get them to this day. I got one friend, my mom. Thousands.
I love it.
So one day, I open the floodgates. Accept all. Whatever. Oh. And I don't even look who I'm at. And that's a dumb thing. So I had this girlfriend. She's like, "Yeah, you added your ex-girlfriend on your." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I don't even look at this shit. I just," and that's the truth. I would get yelled at for. I would go down my Instagram like, because I only knew people. I don't like the people that I knew. Like.
Right.
Oh, you
Can't do that shit now.
You like that girl's ass? I'm like, I didn't even look at it. I just scrolled through it and like, yeah, you must. No, I you're an asshole. I don't even want to talk to you today. Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'm at the store. Like I live in the sticks.
Okay.
There's not even a stoplight in my town. You know?
Okay.
There's not even a stop sign on the main fucking road. Oh, Mr. Rockstar, too good to add my friend request. I don't even look at that. Oh, yeah. Sure, there you go, man. Yeah, fine. I haven't seen you since grade school. But so it became. But no matter where I went, it was, hey, we're raising a charity for homeless kids in the rainforest, naked homeless kids in the rainforest who read books. Can you give us a couple guitars? You're an asshole.
Yeah.
So I throw everybody out. Done. Delete. Done. Everybody's gone except for my mom. Oh, I'm at the store. Oh, you unfriended me? Well, I kind of unfriended. Oh, yeah, no. You're a fucking asshole, man. You think you're better than everybody else? I got one friend, my mom. Yeah. I accidentally added. Sorry, and I actually told this person, look, they're like, oh wow, but I'm your other only friend. I'm like, I accidentally did it. It's just like, and I just don't have the heart to say delete, on this one. But yeah, so I don't do social media. I did it as a golf game. I added my mom as one friend because it's your mom.
Yeah.
And I just absolutely hate Facebook.
Yeah.
And so, but they made me they asked me to do an Instagram thing. Mm-hmm. To do work with the Megadeth people when I was with Megadeth. Oh. I thought you only accepted guys as friends.
Oh, God.
Well, the person's on our crew, blah, blah, blah. You fucking lying piece of shit. Like, no, I'm not a lying piece of shit. So now I've got separate accounts, if anybody ever does this. And I do see the advantage of having, because I do one just for photography, and I'm really not doing, questions and answers for the fans anymore. But I still have that account because there's some older stuff on there that was cool, and I just don't want to get rid of it. But I just, occasionally I I'll throw some stuff, but it's, it's just to throw. But I always laugh that Instagram sent me something and said, "You're now eligible to get paid for this."
Oh, yeah, they
all you have to do, and I'm like, you know what, I really don't have that kind of time in my life that I want to do this. But and it was kind of cool, I laugh, but I get the wackos, and what happens is, because now I'm accessible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got this charity, homeless kids naked in the rainforest that read books, and could you maybe
Sting's a big fan.
Yeah, Sting's a big fan. He gave us your number, and so now I'm getting hounded again.
Yeah,
and it's just like it never ends. It makes me unhappy. I'm not fulfilled because I can't help these kids out with the fucking library that they're trying to build in some fucking hut in the rainforest between two rubber tree fucking plants.
And that goes back to his point earlier. Like, this probably, I mean, this could have happened earlier, right? But nobody, you weren't accessible.
Yep.
You weren't out there. And now that you're out there,
now that you put yourself out
you're
there,
getting those. And like you said earlier, like, yeah, that shit existed. Absolutely, it existed. Then now everybody has that platform.
Now,
are we too accessible?
Well, but here, another point I want to make is I think you said, is it corporations' responsibility? We need to start taking responsibility for ourselves.
Yes,
like
but we won't though.
But why? Then why? Okay, not everybody will understand. But then why should corporations have to have the responsibility?
They have to put a label on cigarettes. They got to put a label on alcohol. They should put a label on this.
Idea. So it's almost like what you're saying is Facebook has a good idea on how to monetize their product.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. Yeah, but society as a whole is not sophisticated enough, I'm going to say it, to not hurt themselves with this system.
But define hurt themselves. That's a broad term. That's a broad term you're
not
using.
A statistical scientist.
But I'm saying when you say when they hurt themselves, like how? Like they're have mental disorders, or they like
quality of life? Like just look at the world's burning. The world's burning around us. I mean,
yeah, but look,
that's all I need to see.
The world's going to burn regardless. It's not social media making the world burn.
Oh,
I don't know.
I was with you till there.
The human condition is the human condition.
Yes.
Social media just puts it on display.
And is that good?
It's the people
we can't handle it.
That people cannot handle it. I agree with that.
But
we're
again,
not sophisticated enough to handle.
Where do you draw the line then? Then that means get rid of media, get rid of the news, get rid of newspapers. Because if you're saying people can't handle,
you might be able to get rid of the news now.
If we can't handle what we see, then we shouldn't see anything.
No, it's not. It isn't what we can't handle. What we can see. It isn't that we can't handle what we see.
It's what we put on value.
We cannot handle the inputs, the amount, the volume of continual inputs, and the manner in which they are being presented to us. The human mind, as an aggregate, as a whole, has proven we cannot effectively increase our quality of life because of it.
This is what I was getting to with my Instagram rant.
I've seen that face before.
It used to be puppies and kittens and rainbows.
Early 2010s.
You know, now I've got fucking camel toes and tits and tattoos and some fucking chick getting a fucking tattoo and squirting something. I didn't ask for it. I like it. But I didn't ask for it.
Well, here's the thing. But the way the algorithms work, you like something like that, so they show you more of it.
No, it came across. If it comes across, if these people like you, or if they send you a message and you open up the message, say, hey, you know, blah blah blah, which I got to do because I fucking deal with rock stars and blah blah blah. So here's this rando, and it says, hey, and it's some fucking thing. You open it up, and now I've got some fucking chick getting a tattoo on her clit, fucking squirting some fucking dude's face. I don't mind that. Kind of into it. Fucking, it's a German fucking video, I'm sure somewhere. But the bottom line is some kid somewhere is going to do it. The thing is, when they control these algorithms, if you go to other countries, if you go to Europe, and I've been there, or China or Japan or whatever, you see respect. You see kids excelling in sports, which you see here. You see kids excelling in sports. You see kids being respectful to their parents.
Let's ask you about that. I'm dying to get your opinion on this. Great point.
You see all these people everywhere else but here.
Great point.
But over here, I've got some chick now because they just changed the algorithm here to allow the nudity. You've got some chick wearing a fucking Kleenex over a fucking nipple. You can see what it is. But now you've got these kids have access to, you know, fucking, oh, look, it's puppies and kittens. No, it's fucking, it's the wrong fucking puppies and kittens. But somebody's going to go look at fluffy puppies and kittens, and they're going to fucking see tits and puss and fucking shit like that. I'm not against that. You know, I mean, I've seen it before. I'm not against it. But little Johnny's going to fucking see this, or little Susie, and they're going to think that that's the way to get through in life. But over in Europe, over in China, you've got respectful. Look, I've got the Honor Society. I build a rocket ship. I got this. You don't see fucking puppies and kittens. If you want to destroy a society, the best way to do it is break down their morals. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Through the algorithms, through these companies, they're making money on our failures.
So here's where you'll disagree, but it's an interesting conversation. It's like you can't legislate morality, right? But and
I wouldn't want that because I kind of like puppies and kittens puppies and kittens.
But if you look at how things like nudity and sexual activity and violence is ingested today, just look at it almost impassionately. Just look at it objectively. Compared to the generations prior, we are on a pathway where anything goes in any way. When the internet came, one of the things was that parents were no longer able to hide a lot of a lot of things either were bad or things that children were not ready for traditionally, being sex and nudity. That was no longer possible. So now the landscape has changed. You can look at that and look in that maybe the moral fabric of society has changed, driven by this technology.
Or
and
maybe
that might not be good, healthy for society.
Morals changed that drove the technology. It could be the reverse too. What if the morals changed before the technology was there? Like you're saying, the technology changed the moral fabric of the country. Maybe the moral fabric was changing, and technology just accentuated it.
I think the delivery device was created. I
think people were fucking dirtbags before Facebook came around.
I agree with.
I think people were doing the same shit they're doing now. There's just a platform to do it. And again, I still believe in personal responsibility.
Though.
But again, I still believe in personal responsibility.
Yes.
Like we can't keep making excuses. Well, we're too weak of a society. We're too this. Like we need to stand up and start taking fucking responsibility for the shit we do.
And I'm saying society's not sophisticated enough to do it.
So here's what we got now.
Slope if you start regulating corporations, you start looking at you got to do this or regulate this or.
But the thing is, you fucking say one bad thing about anybody, you're canceled. And it's affecting society. That's always been there. But we never really had to sit around and do your thing, I'll do my thing, blah, blah, blah. Now it's affecting how people think, how people work, how people talk, how people socially interact with each other. And if you're not on my team, if you're not on the pink team, you're bad. You're gone. If you're not Team Rainbow Unicorn, you're gone.
But to Rocco's point, this is a human decision.
If you make the decision to go out on Facebook and put shit like that, then you get what you deserve. Like that, you got to understand. You got to understand the landscape we're playing in now. Like we can't keep making excuses. I'm not saying that you're making excuses. I'm saying we can't keep making excuses as a society that we're gonna get. That's the landscape we're in. So you got to learn how to navigate that. So I know I'm a business owner, right? I have certain viewpoints in the world. I have certain morals and things that may not agree with everybody. I don't go put them out on fucking social media.
It's called discernment.
But unfortunately, people do.
Right. But that's personal responsibility. That's my whole point. Like,
yes.
People need to be personally responsible for the shit they do. And if you can't navigate that, that's on you.
And to your point, because I agree with you 1,000%. But I add the but is the proof seems to be that the society's not sophisticated enough, almost in the most elemental way. We're almost acting like animals.
There's the mob mentality. So like to his point, you put that on Facebook and this is your thing, your little Billy with the unicorn, that's your thing, right? And say somebody comes up and they're like, they have their opinion on it, and they voice that opinion on there. And the next thing you know, here comes the mob. And it's that mob mentality, and everybody piles on that one person that maybe disagreed. And now it's unfortunate because even if you disagree with somebody in a respectful way, and this is where I think society is kind of taken a wrong turn, is you almost can't disagree with somebody in a respectful way, or you can't sit and have a car. Like, we can sit and have this conversation.
Well, that's why podcasts exist.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
Exactly. And we can be respectful, and we can be like, hey,
we don't have to be respectful.
Yeah, well, you can be like, hey, Eric, hey, great point, Rocco, great point, Fred, great point. And we can sit here and be like, well, yeah, I see what you're saying, but this is my viewpoint. But the problem now, I think, is we've got to, if your viewpoint doesn't fall in line with everybody else's viewpoint, everybody's going to pile on top of you until you're
canceled.
You're at a point to where it's personal responsibility. Hey, I shouldn't have made that comment. I shouldn't have said this. I mean, you used your platform to put your view out there, and that's what's going to happen. Like he said, we have to learn to navigate it. And man, it's a tricky fucking world to navigate right now. It is a tricky fucking world to navigate now.
We were all told as kids, don't drink, don't do drugs. Did we listen? No. If we put it out there on social media, because we knew we were going to put it out there and said, don't fucking go to kitties and fucking puppies.com or whatever at puppy. People are going to do it. It's hard to do it, but the thing is we're so morally. My God, I can't believe I'm even saying this. We're so.
Well, that's always been your point, though. We started taking. And I mean,
but
we not talked about this, but when they started pulling the Ten Commandments down off of
buildings.
that
was my thing on that thing.
Sure.
I get the separation of church and state. I'm actually for that, but it was a good way to live. Like these are good tenets to live. Why would we want to remove that from the consciousness of society?
This country was founded on that. This country's got a weak military because they took that down. This country's getting weaker and weaker and weaker in education because we don't have that set of guidelines to do this because it's a free-for-all on social media. You can do whatever you want. You can disrespect your parents. You can disrespect your teacher.
But no, you're up next.
I'm gonna come back to it, but we're weak because we won't take personal responsibility. We want the
100%.
government to solve the problem.
Yes.
We want corporations to solve the problem. We need to get back to a point in time where if I fucking say something offensive and I get canceled, that's on me. I'm not blaming anybody else. If I was stupid enough to do that,
why's it got to be stupid?
But I'm just saying. But because you have to learn to navigate.
Because that's the landscape we find ourselves.
I'm not going to walk into an MMA ring with 10 MMA fighters and be like, "Fuck all you guys, I'll beat your ass." I'm going to get my ass kicked. Like I know the landscape.
But you know what you'll get for doing that? A participation trophy, and you're going to go home happy.
No, I won't. I won't.
Because your feelings weren't offended.
I'm fine with being canceled.
500,000 followers.
Because guess what? That's competitive.
500,000 followers get your ass beat.
That's competitive. If I know how to navigate the world and you don't, that's a competitive advantage I have in business, in life.
I got you.
That's how I look at it.
100%.
Like, my problem with where we are as a society right now is we're trying to get rid of personal responsibility. That's it.
Yes.
That's where the fact that we're talking right now. And I'm not saying this is a bad point.
Oh yeah.
The fact that we're talking about Facebook should regulate morals or should be regulated in some way, shape, or form is saying we don't believe people should take personal responsibility. I know you're going to say we don't believe people can take because the way society is. That's not an excuse. We have to. We got to let the shit weed itself out, like Darwinism.
Okay. So that's a harsh way to go, brother, because I don't give a lot of credence to the ability to self-regulate on a mass basis for humanity. I think given the device, the bulk of society, like pigs do a trough, will go to that trough if they know it's full of cyanide, if it looks good to them.
Because it's easy. That's the easy way out.
Well, there's a lot of reasons.
We've all worked hard to get where we were. That's what makes us different, the guys sitting in here. We've all done something to get to where we are. You're a good lawyer. You're a good businessman. You're a good nurse. I'm just some guy that got lucky. And but the thing is, we worked hard to get to where we were.
Absolutely.
Not everybody's willing to do that.
Exactly right.
And they because you know why? They see it so easy to show my.
But it's a delusion, man.
But you know what? But to them, it's a reality. To us, we don't get it. They see they don't need to go to school.
Is that the bigger question right there? We maybe we're missing it all along. Maybe the question? Is the question.
People want the easy way out, Eric.
Yes, but it's beyond that. Let's go even more esoteric.
Mm-hmm.
Has social media in the creation of it created a false reality for a lot of the population?
Yes,
of course. Yeah,
like
of course.
in terms of no, but I mean like even more esoteric. Like it's like they don't understand what's really happening here on this table. They're living almost in a fantasy land they have created in their own head, which is kind of orchestrated by what they see through the screen. And they're actually spending a portion of their life living in there. And that creates a bad life when they have to come down here and live in reality.
They can't deal with
it.
They're
not interacting in an effective manner. You see what I mean? And maybe that's where I'm getting the lack of hope that they will have the ability to correct themselves and use the science and the technology correctly to solve the problems which we currently have.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. They don't have the discipline. We had discipline. Kids today don't have discipline.
It's not just
that's why you got to go out there.
But see, that's the thing, brother. It's just the kids may consist the bulk of it. When we talk about kids, maybe kids in their teens and their 20s and early 30s, but people our age, I can't tell you how many people that I know went to school with. They get on social media. They're fucking animals.
They're fucking caught.
It's unbelievable.
So imagine with these kids that are given iPhones at 6 years old to fucking occupy their time by their parents, or they're fucking too busy to.
But
fucking.
To Rocco's point, yeah, it does have to start with the parents. You can't.
It does.
You can't legislate morality under any circumstances. We'd like to snap you'd like to think if the inner workings of Facebook know that they're being fucking really manipulative, you'd like to think there's a good soul in there somewhere to say, you know what?
He's a reptilian.
For the good of mankind, we're going to change something and see if we can do something to have a better ethos, right?
If it makes money, they will.
Yeah,
but it's not going to happen.
No, because every product is manipulative in some way, shape, or form. That's capitalism. You have to remove capitalism. If you're going to take away manipulation from products or services, you have to remove capitalism from the system.
I get it.
It's got to go to socialism.
No, I get it.
And to me, it's like to Fred's point, people won't change. And I'm okay with that because guess what? Not everyone's like us.
Yep.
And that's what gives us the competitive advantage. I don't give a fuck if you can't figure out how to navigate the world today. That's on you. It's not my problem.
Yeah, I get it.
I can navigate it. I've learned to, and it's given me the ability I have today to do what I do. And the world you're never going to have an equal playing field. Because everybody's not equal.
Oh, it shouldn't be. No.
But what I'm saying is we're never going to get people to everyone be like, you know what? Yep, we all got to get better. It's not. People don't give a fuck. People don't give a fuck.
Does it concern you how fast it's gone dystopian in the last decade? In a dystopian slant. Society in general.
Concern me?
Yeah, does it concern you? I mean, you observe. You're out as much as we are, if not more. Like you're seeing, observing, doing business. You're conducting.
But I look at it the other way. I see it's created so many advantages and so many opportunities because society has gotten so fucking whacked. If you just have a level head,
agreed,
and some level of intelligence, there's more opportunities for me today than there was 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And that's why we've built the firm the way we did, because I just see the opportunities. And if you're willing to do this, I'm okay with the way society's going. As long as I have my close associates, my kids, my family, the people I work with, as long as they're good, decent human, I can't control the world.
Yeah, agreed.
So I'm okay with where we are. And I think as long as you know how to navigate it, and I can only do what I can do. I can only be a decent human being to the people I'm around. I can't impact the entire world, right? So I look at it as if this the way society is. I just have to learn to navigate the way it is.
It is the landscape.
It's the landscape.
Yeah.
It is. It's not going to change. Social media is not going anywhere. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Let's just be real. It's going to take over. The metaverse is here. There are dudes, literally, this is a thing. There are guys that strip as girls in the metaverse and make shit tons of money doing it.
So wait, what is this metaverse bullshit?
Yeah, so apparently, the metaverse, right? It's the Oculus, the
I needed
virtual
money.
reality.
I needed the money,
and literally, people kind of like OnlyFans. They pay strippers in the metaverse, but there's guys that are pretending to be female strippers and making a shit ton of money in the metaverse stripping.
Well, it's actually I'm wearing a unicorn fucking thing with a rainbow mane, but I'm damn hot.
It's the truth. I mean, it seems like about it. That people are making like
he's one of my OnlyFans fans.
Thousands of dollars a day stripping in the metaverse. That's where we are.
I've spent enough time in a strip bar that I know I can make money if I did this. I've got the hair. I've got the moves. Now, if I just had the tits and ass, I'd be fine.
There are photos of Fred in a Britney Spears outfit that have circled the internet.
Dude, you know what?
But here's why it's smart. Did you know that Andrew Tate? You know who that guy is, right? Andrew Tate. He's at he started with webcam models, right? He made all his money having girls on webcams because he was the one talking to the men.
Didn't know that.
So the girls had they had fake keyboards, like they were talking. Because he knows how men want to be talked to. He's a guy. That's why these guys are making money in the metaverse, because they know they're a man. They know how they want a stripper to act towards them. So they just do it, and they're making a shit ton of money. That's how Andrew Tate made his money, by having webcam girls. But he was the one communicating with the guys, not the girls.
Is that called catfishing or something like that? I don't know what that is.
I mean, so basically, it was before OnlyFans started.
Okay.
So people would pay like webcam girls, like strip for them, do certain things, and they would talk like over like a chat room.
Okay.
And you would pay for time, or they would.
So the girls weren't.
The girls were pretending to chat, but it was him and his brother in the background actually doing the chatting and getting guys to send thousands, tens
actually
of
brilliant.
thousands of dollars. I mean, and that's what he says. He's like, it was fucking brilliant. He's like, you can call me whatever you want to call me, but he made millions of dollars doing this because guys are fucking dumb.
It's just skin.
Guys are fucking dumb. I mean, he was telling stories on a couple of podcasts I listened to of guys like sending tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to these women, saying they're going to come visit them, they're going to come for the week, and they'd be making all these excuses. They were just wiring money to these women because he knew how to talk to men because he's a guy.
Right.
The fucking guys
So
were
did
dumb.
he
We're
get
idiots.
did he get it or did the girls get
They
it?
would split it 50-50.
What
Yeah.
an idiot, 50-50?
I mean-
that's a 70-30 split.
I mean, but
both my fingers are doing all the work.
But you think about it, I mean,
It's fucking great.
He was making a shit ton of money. But anyway, so that's metaverse stripping.
My God, I'm going to look into that tomorrow because fucking I really don't want to go out on TSO next week. You know, so fucking, it's my Christmas money. It's a holiday job. It's just temporary, Mom.
It's not really me, right?
Stripping.
It's not
It's
really me.
It's a unicorn with a rainbow mane. Okay,
Ripping for Christmas gifts. I get
no
it,
one's going
man.
to see me, right?
Yeah,
It's
That's
not
what-
really me. It's somebody
listen, man,
else.
just-
Are we in competition with is everybody in competition with everybody else?
If you're
Because of social media.
if you want to be, you can. Yeah, I mean, meaning what though? Competition.
See, I don't give two fucks who if I got followers.
I
or
don't
not.
mean you individually. I'm saying looking at the
Collectively.
collectively.
Again, it's
To
the
you-
Calvin
to
Klein
you-
jeans and the bigger platform now. You know, when you had them, you're a cool kid. Now,
I tried, didn't work.
well, yeah, well, it's the same here. But you know, the bottom line is
No, you were Jordache.
I was Jordache, which I was a really fucking cool kid when I was Jordache.
Okay.
We had a horse on the
Their
pocket.
quality was bad.
Oh, just get out of town. It's fucking the same
The
factory.
denim was so thin.
Some little Korean kid was over there fucking.
No, mine were made in the USA, pal.
So,
That's why those jeans were great.
At the 6 to 2 shift, you know, did Jordache. The 3 to 11 shift did Calvin Klein or whatever. But you know, yeah, people are income. I'm not, but yeah, I could care less. I'm happy.
So,
Are we in competition with each other?
And I
But
think
what do you mean by competition with each other? Like, what do you mean by that?
Because,
Competition in what way?
well, let's start. Competition because we're comparing our lives. Not everybody, but there's a lot. Most of society.
I think
is
there's
comparing their lives with so many, with thousands of people on a weekly basis. Thousands of different people.
Okay.
I think there's probably a large portion of people that are like out there, like we talked about earlier, that are out there like so and so has this, I don't have this, I need to figure out how to get there. And like we talked about earlier, it's cool. I want this, I want this, I want this, because that person has it. Was that person happy? Are you? And it kind of comes back to, are you comfortable enough with yourself?
Yeah, that's
Where
what it
you
boils down
are,
to.
are you comfortable enough with yourself to say, yeah, maybe so-and-so has this, and this, and they probably worked hard for it, or they did this. Like I, you know, being a nurse, I worked hard to get where I am and put a lot of work into the experiences that I have. I'm not a doctor. You know, I live down the street from a lot of the doctors I work with. We have the same zip code. We don't live in the same neighborhood
Right.
as each other. We have the same zip code, right? I'm not putting in 90, 100 hours a week to do that. And I'm okay with that
Right.
because I'm fortunate enough to where I'm able to do something outside of that I love. I'm fortunate enough that gives me time to spend at home with my kids. And then we still have the money to do,
Yeah.
you know, we still have the money to provide everything they need to do. We have the money to go where we want to go,
Right.
And have all the experiences. We have that time together because time you can't get back. Money you can make, but time you can't get back. And I have that time, and I'm happy with that. And I'm fine saying, nope, I don't have the $1.5 million home up the road. I have this home down here, but you know what? When I get home, it's not perfect. It's not what you see on social media, like the clean. First of all, if anybody posts a picture of a clean house with 3 kids at home under the age of 10,
Yeah.
they have the
They're
screw.
liars.
Yeah,
They took it
they're
at IKEA.
liars.
They took it at IKEA.
Yeah, they took it at
Fucking
IKEA.
liars.
It's not happening.
Right.
But I think people are. I think people are chasing that. I think there are a large portion of society that is chasing that. So and so has this. So and so has that, and I can see that. We don't really know. we don't really know
Well-
what they have. We don't that we get pictures, we get snapshots, we get moments here
It's
and
a
there that they
highlight
decide
reel,
to change,
right?
like what they decide to share. If I shared pictures of my kids, like my kid's school picture, or while we were out here, I couldn't post a picture of them at home. My wife would be like, you put that on fucking Facebook? You put that fucking picture on Facebook of the living room looking like this or the kitchen looking like that? I'm like, that's what it looks like every day. When you have 3 kids, you have
Right.
2
It's
parents
reality.
in the household that are working. It's reality. It's real life. Where I think not everybody's
So it's an
willing to
so it's
share
an
that.
illusion.
People are willing. Yeah, people are that people aren't really sharing real life a lot of times on there. Like
No,
if they
it's-
did,
it's the
fuck.
fantasy world that
Yeah, I think,
But to Rocco's point, like when you were in the 70s, when you got you get your school pictures.
Yeah.
Maybe you usually get 5 or 6 of them. You pick the best one. We were basically curating our best foot forward, right?
Yeah.
So it's
We're
not really
always
no
doing it,
different
right.
than what we're just doing it on a more rapid base. But we're also being able to project and reach more people
'Cause that's that
and
platform.
in turn they can reach
well,
us.
and I think, look, people are competitive; they're insecure. I think it deals with insecurities. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
If you're looking at other people and in a competitive way, you're just insecure about where you are. Like I look at people that have more shit than I do, I'm like, that's fucking awesm because that means I can get it.
Exactly.
How did
That
they
means,
do it?
yeah, 'cause I'm like, how do I reverse engineer how they did
Absolutely.
it? Like that's I don't ever
But that's
look
an
at
entrepreneur
some-
mindset.
but I think that's a secure mindset. I don't think it's about being an entrepreneur. I think I'm secure enough in myself that I don't need to look at other people and feel insecure. Like I know what I bring to the table. I know what I can do. I just know that person has figured out something that I haven't figured out yet. That's how I look at it. So if someone is a lawyer and has a firm that's 10 times the size of mine, but started where I am, I'm like, okay, there's some shit I have to figure out because they started where I am. That means this is possible. I
Certainly.
just haven't figured out the formula yet.
Yep.
and
That's how I look at it.
And that's exactly it. One of the funny things is I always tell people I don't compare myself to anybody because I'm comfortable with who I am, and as silly as as I can get, or all the goofiness. But that's the one thing I always say: I'm comfortable with myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I grew up poor.
Yeah,
I'm
same
happy.
here.
I'm happy for every little thing that I have. I had a dirt floor in my basement and 1 bathroom.
Yeah.
I lived in a duplex in a coal mining town. And I don't want a mansion. I don't want. It would be nice, but you know what? I think they said Matthew McConaughey lives in a Gulfstream or Airstream trailer. He's a millionaire movie star, but he's comfortable who he is. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I could give 2 shits if I live in a 10 by 10 spare room bedroom. I used to have a nice house. I lost it, blah, blah, blah. I live in hotel rooms now all the time. I could stay at a Motel 6. I could stay at the Ritz-Carlton. I get 2 fucks because I'm comfortable with who I am. If you would say some of this stuff to other people, like on the road or the tour, we can only stay in 5-star hotels. It's like, all I need is a place to put my shit, because I know who I am. I know what I've done.
Yeah.
And the one fun thing that I do, and we've been talking about this stuff earlier, if I would have went third, I would have said the same things that he did, because my fulfillment comes with teaching people as well.
Yeah.
And like you in the hockey,
Yeah.
I'm happy for everybody else. And when I see somebody become successful, I'm not jealous.
Yeah, man. Think about all of the guitar techs and just roadies, guys working out on the road now that have learned from you.
And that's exactly
So that's
what I was getting to.
that's the fulfilling thing of life.
I
right?
sit around and you know what everybody says to me? We thought you'd be mean. We thought you'd be an asshole. I'm like, why?
I get that too.
Because yeah, exactly. And you
Really?
because you're successful.
If people don't know me and they're like, oh, I thought you would have been an asshole.
Well, yeah, people said Rocco's not unapproachable, but like a little bit intimidating.
Well,
I'm like,
I always get intimidating and unapproachable because I look scary. No, I'm tired. Right? You know why I'm tired?
You do look scary.
You know what? You know why I'm tired? Because I just put in 20 hours yesterday. But you know what I'm going to do? I put in 20 hours, 100 hours in 5 days on TSO. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit down. I'm going to talk to you. And I'm going to give you the best experience I can, because that fulfills me. It makes me happy.
Yes.
And it makes me happy to answer your questions. I've met some of the
About
best
being a confetti tech.
about being a confetti tech. But the thing is, you know, and I did that because I wanted out of what I did. And what happened this past year, I was miserable. And he knows I was miserable. I was done. I was quitting. I was, after all these years, after, 30 some years, I was miserable. And all at once, everything fell into place in June.
Yep.
And I got recognized for the stuff I did in movies, and I got recognized for my tech work, and I got my recognized for my dream job, and recognized for my dream job, and I got to work with my dream guys, and everything. So all those years of hard work came, and guess what happened? The miserable guy that drank every day he could and would sit around in a hotel room and go, man, I hope I die today. I hope I don't wake up today. And believe me, I tried. And that I, because I was miserable.
Yeah.
I found happiness in doing what I did finally. And it's not the money.
Yeah.
One of the fun things about being with Motley is I do Nikki's meet and greets, and I get a chance to give those people the incitement and the experience of enjoying a rock show the way I did when I was a kid when Rudy Lyron or Bobby O or somebody handed me a guitar pick.
Yeah.
But that's what you always loved about your job.
But I never could do it. I didn't feel that happiness. I wasn't fulfilled. I'm fulfilled now. I've reached all my goals, and I'm probably going to die soon because I reached all my goals because I don't see anything left. I can't get any better. But I'm having a great time for once, and I'm happy. And so I've achieved my fulfillment as a worker, and I'm happy at what I'm doing. I found the balance. And somebody actually told me, you're smiling. Because I haven't smiled in so long, because I don't have any teeth, but, I knocked all my teeth out. But from grinding and because I'm just so fucking stressed out. But, it was nice to find that balance. And that's what I try to give everybody else. And that's why I still do my social media. Yeah. I meet people. I met, someone who used to ask me questions all the time, over the social media, but being able to help this person and help this person in person is something different. I still like to teach, and that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
That's coming full circle and give it back, right?
Yeah. And I think that's part of what it is there's for me, there's a lot of joy in the struggle and in the grind. So I say it all the time, like with coaching youth hockey, especially, it's a grind because you start in August, you go through late March if you're lucky enough, then you have your tryouts in April, and you get rolling on the next year in mid-June, late June. But it's a grind. It's a lot of work. But you see these kids, like you see the light bulb go. Yep. Or you're teaching them and you're trying to explain something to them and the light bulb goes off. And you see them start to have success. and it's no longer like, man, I got to drive to Cleveland this morning for these games here. That at 10 o'clock at night, I got to get in the car. I got to drive to Niagara Falls. It's 4 hours through the night to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning for this group. And it is a grind. It's a lot. But when you see those kids succeed, you feel like, yeah, it was a grind. Yeah, I probably wasn't happy when I got here this morning. Yeah, I probably look miserable because I'm tired and I drove all through the night. But to see these guys have success, to see them feel good about themselves, and to know, like, hey, like we tell them all the time, like, I believe in all of you guys. Like I have the confidence in you because you've showed there's potential there, and we're trying to get that out of you. And I'll do whatever it takes to do that. And if it means I got to drive through the night to do that, it is what it is. I get a lot of happiness seeing these guys succeed. And when I get text messages, this past weekend, I got a phone call from a kid that played for me before who's doing great now. And he's probably going to end up he's probably going to go to college for free and get his education paid for. But he chose on a drive from where he's at now to home to call me. And he's like, hey, I have some time to go. I just want to chat, coach, see how things are going. See this and this. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? And then you realize, like, what you're doing, while, yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, I love the game, but I'm seeing that I'm the work that you're doing, the things that you're doing are making a difference to somebody else, and it is having an impact on them. And who knows what their reach is going to be later on. And then, you sit and you think about it later on, and you're like, hey, I helped this kid get to where he was. Hopefully I passed on some lessons to him. He's going to be able to pass these on down the line. And you talked earlier about legacy. Mm-hmm. So maybe, maybe they're not throwing my name around 3 generations from now, but that, maybe that kid is one who's going on and he's inspiring other people, or he's helping build other kids' confidence, or he's helping do this, and they're going out and doing good things in the world, and they're good people. And then that's a big thing. They're good people, and they're going out there and they're kind to somebody else, or they're patient with people who want these things. And hopefully that carries over, and you have a little bit of hope for society. And as shitty as it may seem now, it gives you that little bit of hope. Like, hey, what I did made an impact on this kid, and that kid can go out and he can impact 20 more later on down the line, and those 20 can go. And there's a big reach to what you do. The littlest things have a bigger reach than what you think. And, that it makes the grind worth it. Like you said, like, hey, you're smiling today. And I get that a lot. Like, some guys are like, fuck, we did everything right today. We even won the game, and this guy's still not happy. And I'm like, no, because you can be better. I know you can be better. I've seen it. That's why I'm pushing you. That's why I'm not happy, because you can be better. And that's why I'm tough on you. I'm not doing it to be a dick.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because you've shown potential, and you've shown you have this. I want you to realize all that potential. I want you to do everything you're capable of, because if you do everything you're capable of, man, you can do great things. If you do what you're capable of, you can do great things.
Yep, absolutely. What you do, how you can influence a young person will echo through their lifetime and through many more people's lifetimes, because they'll, like you said, it dovetails out.
Yeah, and maybe you don't get the credit for it. It doesn't matter. It matter. Because you have that satisfaction in you knowing, like, hey, I like, he may go to college and never mention my name again, but I know that, and from seeing him at the start to seeing him now, that I had some sort of influence on that. I know that I made a difference in that kid.
Yeah.
And now he's going out there and he's pushing that out to who knows how many more people. And it could be a small difference, and maybe he goes out and he makes a small difference in somebody's life, but that's, you made somebody else's life better.
Exactly, man. So they don't have to strip on the metaverse,
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking,
yeah.
I mean, if you can do that, I mean,
They can
probably
be
better money, but
they make a lot more money there.
But still, man, but yeah, exactly.
But that's what it is. You're making a difference, and as long as you're cool with not getting the credit for it down the line, you can do a lot of really good things, as long as you're not worried about, oh fuck, he got here and he never mentioned my name.
I see that a lot.
I don't
see that a lot in my business. That I could give 2 fucks less. I give my information, and here's the other thing with me: when I'm 53, and I will still ask people questions every day. Why? There's nothing wrong with at an older age.
You're always curious, though. You've always been curious.
But bi and curious, and on the metaverse, only on the metaverse. But no, I'm not. Mom, don't watch this one. But the thing is, when you can teach somebody something, and the fun thing is watching them take your lessons and teach somebody else. And I will always, if somebody asks me a question, literally when we would sit in our office in Boogie Street, people would write to me.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I did those.
Oh yeah.
Columns, and they're not easy questions to answer.
Sure.
But I took every one of them, because that 2 seconds, 2 hours.
You were fanatical about getting back to every person.
If that little bit makes an influence, in somebody's life, that's the world, and if it changes, somebody, if they can go on and do good things, if they can be happy. Mm-hmm. That's why I always tell people, take the 2 minutes while you're sitting there eating dinner. If somebody comes over and asks you for a photo, don't be mad. Don't be.
Well, it's like you. How many times you said, Rocco? Like, you going out and just doing something simple during your day to smile at a stranger.
Yeah,
I say that all the time.
Yeah. It's just, those little things. It's the butterfly effect.
Yep.
You just do one little thing that could impact a person's day. If you just, I'll walk past someone, just smile and say hi. People, you don't know the day they're having. That could have brightened their day. And it's just, you kind of look at, I don't need the recognition for doing it. I just do it because of the impact it can create. Right. And there's been times where I went to Starbucks and paid for the people behind me, or like been in drive-thrus and done that too. I don't need any recognition for it. It's just because it could potentially impact their day. It's a nicety you put out in the world and just hope it spreads. That's it. It's purely an act of kindness to create a ripple effect. It's not about recognition. It's not about, the accolades for it. It's purely for the act of doing and the potential ripple effect it can cause.
You're not like taking a selfie and putting it on Facebook.
No.
Like, I just bought these.
I hate their Starbucks.
I just gave this guy $100.
That's the problem I have with social media. That's one problem I do with social media. When people do good deeds and they put it on social media, it's like, no, that's not a good deed. You're doing it for recognition.
Yep.
That's like just an advertisement.
Right. If I leave somebody like at the holidays, $100 or $200 tip on a $20 bill, I don't put that on social media. That's just me being a decent human being. But I see so many people doing that shit, and it's like, why? You're not doing it for the actual altruism of doing it. You're doing it because you want the recognition of, oh, he's a good person or she's a good person. It's not the point.
I don't need to advertise that you're a good person.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
So, go ahead.
But that's exactly what Rocco said. Is exactly it. Being a good person, you don't have to go out there and say, hey, look what I did. Look what I did. Look at me. Look at me.
If you have to tell people you're a good person, you're not a fucking good person.
Exactly.
That's really what it boils down to.
So, I think I became a happier person, and it's just been recently, past 2 years or so. I did this show for 3 years, and it was about a year into it, or maybe about 8 months into it. Something just switched with me. It's the end of 2019, fall 2019, when I made this show 100% about the guest, because I think I started this podcast for me. Selfishly, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think in some weird delusional way, I thought that, look at me, I got a podcast, and look what I can do, and look what I'm going to do. When I decided to, let's flip this all over and let's make this show about coming into each conversation with like an immense amount of humility, something that's hard for me to come by, but intentionally doing that and learning to shut up in shows, keep my mouth shut when someone's making a point, ingest it, and then don't respond until I understand that. The shows got better, but I started being like a little happier person.
Yeah.
And not taking things so seriously, not being so uptight about things. And it bled into my real estate life, my family life, and all that stuff. So I think humility and understanding it maybe has made me happier. I found more happiness because of that. You
found the one thing that you felt that you were lacking in, and you were able
to
change that.
I think so.
You're able to listen. You're able to communicate. You're able to express empathy.
It really is a form of more unselfishness when when you're in a conversation and you're only talking, but you invited someone here to talk with you. You talking over them is a selfish act. It's a horrible thing to say, but it's kind of a selfish act.
But it's the truth.
It is, and the best piece of advice I got as a young lawyer was listen 75% of the time, speak 25% in any conversation. And that's what I've always done. Like and this was, we were going to trial, and the lawyer I was working with, he said, when you're questioning a witness, he said, just listen. People will tell you shit they're not supposed to tell you. They don't like silence. And it'll also play out in other things. People just want to feel heard. They want you to listen to them. They want to feel like you understand and have listened to them. Yep. So in every conversation, I'll just let a person talk. And then you end up, you build a connection with a person. Like if I have a new client come in, I'm not going to talk over them. I'm going to let them come in and tell me their life, tell me about them. I don't rush through it. We don't even get to the business. Do I understand the person? But I want to build that connection. Like you have to meet the person, understand, and we connect. And then we can talk about the business shit's the easy part. Like I want to know you. Tell me about you. Why are you here? Like why are you starting this business? Like why? And it's truly something I've taken throughout my professional careers. I listen 75% of the time and speak 25%. I try and always be very cognizant of that technique, and it's helped me tremendously. Because human beings, we just want to feel heard and understood. That's it. And if you make a person feel that they've been heard and understood, they automatically have a connection to you.
we build that trust too.
Yeah.
Like you're building trust with
Yeah,
somebody because
absolutely.
like someone's not going to be 100% open about their intentions or their or anything like that. If they don't trust you, then they're not going to be like, because they're going to like, this guy's going to take whatever I said and somewhere down the line find a way to use it against me. But when you build those relationships, you build that trust.
Exactly.
Then everything opens up. Yeah. Like it's so much easier to work to build something when you have that trust within, like
life is a lot easier when you just shut the fuck up and listen to people. I mean, it really, it's true. If you just like,
that should be a t-shirt slogan.
But it's true. Cause I'll watch people in meetings. I'm like, dude, just this person's going to tell you exactly what you need to hear. Just shut the fuck up. Let them talk. Like, but so many people, especially in my profession, they want to talk to let you know how smart they are. It's like, I don't really give a fuck.
It works in reverse.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's like, I want to listen. Like, I don't need to, I know you came to me for a fucking reason because I'm good at what I do. I don't need to tell you how good I am. You know, that's why you're here. I want to know about you. I want you to talk. And it's amazing when you do that, how easy it is to build a connection and a level of trust with a person. And it just makes life easier. You just feel better.
Yeah, it's had an amazing effect on my life because then it started to bleed into my other relationships.
Right.
Like I don't see my son that often, so when I see him, it's like blah, 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 blah. I was always like, and I think at times it would overwhelm him because he's a little bit timidity level there.
Yeah.
But then when I started just asking real short questions to get him to like, and then all of a sudden the floodgates open and it helped me with my daughter, and I just realized it just affected my life, and it's kind of like embarrassing to say this. It's a learned skill recently, but it made a difference and it bled into everything else.
Yeah.
Definitely. You're never too old to learn something.
Yeah. No doubt. No, just absolutely no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
And it's like 2 points about listening. Like, I don't know if Fred will remember this, but when we went to the first time we met Paul Stanley at the Live the Win show in 2006.
Greensburg, yeah.
Yeah. And I was stunned by my interaction because when we went in to meet him, like, he really let me talk and all the things you wanted to do. And he just sat and he attentively listened. He wasn't dismissive, but he listened. And to the point where when I was done, it was like he took another breath and then he talked.
Yeah.
And on the way home, I said, man, he just like really just like absorbed everything that was going on. And then he waited to respond. That was weird. And you said to me, because think about all the interactions he has with millions of people, what he has learned over his life in terms of the best way for him to communicate is probably let the other person go like gangbusters and hold your words until. And you said it was very common. You said with a lot of artists because they're just so used to.
A lot of good artists.
Yeah. And I remember that was definitely a lesson. On the converse side. Having the ability to be on different podcasts and so forth, and on one-on-one podcasts, and then having the host step all over me during the show, not in a mean-spirited way, but just, a mechanic's way.
Yeah.
And I then listening to it going, wow, I probably was doing a lot of this in my first podcast. Like I'm stepping all over my guests.
Yeah.
And then I realized how poor it reflected on the host, but also how poor as a guest I felt. Like I couldn't get you asked me here to talk about this, but I can't keep my train of thought together because you're not letting me speak. Eye opener.
Well, and I think the art of communication is lost. People, because you have to learn to listen. Because if I may come with an agenda of questions, but if I'm not actively listening to your responses, it's going to be disjointed. Most people don't have the ability to active listening, meaning listening to understand, not listening to respond, is a different level of communication skill. Most people listen to respond. Very few people listen to understand. So when you listen to understand, you know the next question to ask. And that's a different skill set. And it's something I had to learn to develop over time. It's helped me tremendously by developing it. But you'll see a lot of podcast hosts don't understand. They're listening to respond. You say something, they want to respond to that. Instead of letting you get the thought out, it could be a whole different question they'll ask, but because they heard one thing they wanted to respond to, they cut you off and they asked the question. And that's just disjointed. It's a disjointed communication.
They're very tough for a guest.
It's extremely fucking. I've been on podcasts like that. I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Let me finish my thought. Like, I had a better point to make, but you fucking, we're talking about fucking bologna sandwiches now. Like, it makes no sense. But it's true. It's a level of communication style that's lost.
Gentlemen, did you have a good time?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Always, man. Always.
I can't thank you enough for giving me some time. I know we with the intent to do like a short show and get these guys on our way, and then here we are looking. Oh my God, hours have gone by. But Fred did a number on the liquor bottles over there. So
Fred's portion of the podcast brought to you by
Vodka.
booze.
360 chocolate vodka. What's the other brand?
Oh, we've got the Pennsylvania-made, the Union Forge vodka. I don't drink anymore either because I'm happy. I smile. I'm fulfilled.
Thank you, gents. We'll do it again.
Oh,
As
thank
always.
You.
Thank you
Thanks
so much.
for having me.
Yeah, always.
We'll see you in 18 months.
And Fred's going out with TSO. We'll see. Not 18 months. We'll see him shortly. He'll be back shortly. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.